we thought how interesting or how fascinating to do a show about people still trying to do their jobs as the world seems to be crumbling around them.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna Rumer with PopCulture, and today I have with me Robert and Michelle King to talk all about The Good Fight Season 6. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Of course. Well, it all comes down to this. How are both of you feeling kind of going into this last hurrah?
Exhausted because we're still editing. We're not done yet. We're still editing the last 3 episodes, so it's not done yet.
And I'm going to say bittersweet, because saying goodbye to characters that you love and yet having the opportunity to honor them is something that's been worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. We come into this kind of chaotic and surreal point in these characters' lives this season. Diane's having her own kind of crisis of deja vu. Tell me a little bit about what you can tease about the arc moving forward.
I think we always knew this year was going to be about a civil war, the sense that there's a coming civil war, just because it seems to be in the news, even with the search of Mar-a-Lago, there's a lot of fighting about whether the enemies are the FBI, the CIA, the government. And so there is this split. And we thought how interesting or how fascinating to do a show about people still trying to do their jobs as the world seems to be crumbling around them and that there's violence. Our show rarely deals with violence right in your face. I mean, we had Josh Charles killed, but in fact, usually it's like you're talking about in trial, but you're not dealing with it. So this year, there's much more violence because we want to see how that would work with our characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And were you happy with how that all came together?
I'm going to say I'll speak for me and then you speak for you. Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I feel good about the way the plane was landed.
Yeah, I think, it's I'm still in the mix of it, so it's hard. But I like that this year is very different than last season, because each season wanted to do be another chapter in a book that was very different in scope and in feel, in tone. And I think the tone this year is still comic, but has a little bit more action in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and to close out, I'm just curious what each of you are most proud of, either about this season or on the show, looking back as a whole.
One of the things I'm most proud of is we did an episode that was about a fictional episode about Hillary winning. And I was very proud about how chancy that episode was, but was still comic. Because usually, the only way to be chancy is to go dramatic and really severe and grim. And I thought that had a light heart, but was really very interesting about how it challenged the idea, would there be Me Too if Hillary won instead of Trump? So I thought that was proud of what you.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was going to say something similar, which is that we have been able to look at everything that's been going on in the news, and as much frustration or fear or despair that the writers might feel about it, we still manage to make it funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait for everyone to see the final season. I appreciate your time. Hey everyone, I'm Anna Rumer with PopCulture, and today I have with me Andre Braugher to talk all about The Good Fight Season 6. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to see you join the show. What was it about this season or Richard that really hooked you to sign on?
Well, it's a tremendous character. He's very flamboyant, evangelical, forward-thinking, promotional. He's almost the exact opposite of a character that I played for 8 years on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So it's an opportunity really to bust loose for the first time in a long time.
Absolutely. I mean, from the entrance, it's just so much fun with Richard. I think fans are really going to fall in love with him. Can you tease a little bit of his journey this season to viewers?
Well, I mean, from the very beginning, there's a lot of head knocking with Liz, who's ostensibly the leader of the firm. Period. She's the only named partner of Reddick and Associates, and then here comes Richard, shoehorned in by STR Laurie as a second named partner with an entirely different mandate than what she imagines. I think Richard sees Reddick and Associates as a very sleepy, conservative firm, and he feels as though he needs to shake things up to transform this sleepy, Midwestern, mid-sized Black firm into a top-notch world-class firm, into the most important law firm in Chicago. And to do that, we have to let go a lot of the conventions that, you know, served us well in previous decades, but now don't serve us at all. So the need to enter into the 21st century is very, very important for Rashard. So he's one of those kind of guys who wants to forge ahead and step on some toes if necessary to get, you know, to get us where we need to be.
Yeah, and the dynamic with Liz right off the bat is so much fun. How was that to kind of play back and forth on screen?
Well, it's a lot of fireworks because, you know, Rashard freelances on a regular basis. You know, he's not asking for permission. So a lot of things come as a surprise to Liz. They seem to sort of violate some sort of conservative code inside of her. And I constantly, you know, reiterate to her the need to let people know what we're doing, to take the lead, to develop new supports, new routes, new opportunities for the firm. And so that's what he's trying to do. And it doesn't necessarily go over well, but I think, number one, his heart's in the right place. He's not a liar. He's not a manipulator. I think he's going to succeed in doing that. And over the course of 10 episodes, we do come together.
Absolutely. I can't wait for people to watch the journey. It is so much fun. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about it.
Thank you for having me.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna Rumer with Pop Culture, and today I have with me John Slattery to talk about The Good Fight Season 6. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to see you finally join this show. What was it about Season 6 that finally got you to sign on?
Good scripts. Christine Baranski, The Kings. Those are 3 good reasons. Shoots in New York.
Yeah. That's a solid quadrangle.
There you go. Done.
Well, I mean, you have such a fun character too, Dr. Betancourt. He's very interesting. He's got an interesting relationship with Diane. Can you tease a little bit for fans where his character arc is going to be going this season?
Well, he starts out as a therapist who gives people the equivalent of a ketamine trip. For those that don't know what that is, if you have an issue like depression, anxiety, PTSD that isn't, you can't treat, that isn't working with conventional therapy, you come to me and I give you a dose of an alternate reality, a drug called PT-108, and then you sort of have an experience, a trip, some people call it, and then you come back to the planet Earth, and we sit down in a therapy session and talk about it.
Yeah, and Diane's having this
insane, but it sounds kind of great to me, actually. I've never done
it. It does. The way Diane's acting after her session, I'm like, sign me up. That sounds great. But the relationship between the doctor and Diane is really interesting too. Is it going to be all roses like it seems at first, or are we going somewhere else?
You think I'm going to be the one that gives this thing up in season 6? I'm the dummy that comes in and tells you what happens.
Darn it.
You know, it's like any relationship that starts out, it gets more complicated as it goes. It's professional, and then they start to see similarities in taste and viewpoint, and they become friendlier, and you know, the thing kind of takes off. There's just it becomes more complicated, like any relationship, and it's really well written. And Christine Baranski is, you know, great.
Oh yeah,
in so
absolutely.
many ways, and knows this character so well, and has been doing it for 13 years, I think, at this point. So, you know, coming in and bouncing off of somebody that knows that much about who they're playing really gives you a leg up on who you're playing, because I didn't really know a hell of a lot when I came in, because I had, you know, a couple of scenes in a script, and you know, like most television, you take it on faith and track record, and you know how good everybody is, that it's all going to be okay.
Absolutely. I mean, you kind of alluded to this, but coming in season 6, we're sticking the landing. Was there any pressure there for you, or just enjoying the ride?
I mean, you're pretty well taken care of. And you know, I've done enough to know that if you come close to what you're trying to get done, they'll take you the rest of the way, between the writing and the production design and the shooting and the editing and the music and everything, that, you know, you're pretty well taken care of on this show, that everybody is really good at their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. And from what I've seen, it's going to be a really great last season. So thank you so much for talking to me about it.